And I'm joined at the moment by the Member of Parliament from Bengal, from Nadia, one of the affected areas, TMC MP, Mahua Moitra joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Mahua Moitra. Give us a sense of what this last week has meant for your constituents in Bengal, particularly in areas which have been terribly affected by Amphan.
Rajdeep, if you break it down, first of all, let me say a big thank you to you that you're doing a program which is focusing on Bengal, because in the last week, apart from the first 2 days, we've seen very little focus. So thank you again. The districts that have been most affected are South and North 24 Parganas and Calcutta. Apart from that, when the storm was moving towards Bangladesh, it touched Nadia and Murshidabad. Now, the loss of life and the loss of homes and roads has been the worst in South 24 and North 24 in Calcutta. Nadia and Murshidabad have been affected, but nowhere as much as the other three districts. In Nadia, for example, we have had houses damaged, about 30,000 houses damaged. We've 60,000 houses damaged. We've had 9 people dead in total. But if you compare that with the other three districts, is a total of 10.5 lakh hectares and 10 lakh houses damaged. Those are the numbers that we're looking at. It's been a very tough week, because already what was happening is that the migrant labor are returning, and in districts such as Nadia and Murshidabad, our districts alone are accounting for over 2-3 lakh migrant labor coming in. And we've having 13 trains coming in today, for example. So given the need for social distancing, given the need for people in shelters, it has been very, very difficult for the administration. It's really been a double whammy. So it's been a very, very tough week.
What's been the biggest challenge for you as a Member of Parliament or the administration? Were you all caught unawares because the Met Department was predicting that the cyclone would hit Bengal? Were you all surprised by the intensity?
Rajdeep, of course we were prepared, because if you see, for a cyclone of this size, this devastation, the loss of life has only been 87 people. I mean, usually in something like this, you can have thousands dead. So we moved 8.5 lakh people were evacuated, which is why the loss of life was under 100. Now, the things with houses, if they're kacha and pakka houses in rural areas, there's nothing much you can do when something like this strikes. All you can do is save lives, which we've tried and done. So over 6 crore people have been affected, but 87 dead. We've moved 8.5 lakh into shelters. So no, nobody was caught unawares. But the first thing to concentrate on something like this is to prevent or minimize loss of life, which I think the administration did very well. Apart from that, there's very little you can do. I mean, if you've got crops lying there, what do? How do you protect mango trees from 160 kilometers an hour raging storm? You can't really do anything. What you can do is, once it's over, is try and take stock. But when you look at the extent of damage, 4,400 kilometers of rural roads have been affected. You've had 4.5 lakh electric poles uprooted. So in damage like that, 10.5 lakh hectares of agricultural crop affected, in damage like that, the first things that we had to do was to restore power and water, rather power first. And that's only, we've managed to do it in most areas in South and North. There's still some areas because they're so difficult to reach. So that was the first thing. The second has been obviously in the relief camps to make sure everyone's getting potable water and getting food, which is something the administration has done effectively.
You know, there are people watching this show, and that was one of the reasons we wanted to do this, to try and get them in some way to recognize the magnitude of what's hit Bengal and to see how they can contribute. What is it that people need most? If there are people outside Bengal who would like to contribute to the victims of Cyclone Amphan, what do they need most at the moment?
I'll tell you what, as with any storm or any cyclone or any flood, what people need most at this point are, obviously what the government is doing is giving tarps and giving money to rebuild houses, all of that. But in terms of food and drinking water and clothes, obviously we're a poor country, and as much as people can give, I think is great in times like this. So for example, I organized 28 phone charging stations from a friend who owns a company, and gave them to South 24 so people can recharge their phones. So anything that you can think of innovatively that you can give, for example, would be great. But in terms of dry food, packaging, food, rubber chappals, anything like that, basic medicines which you can give would be absolutely wonderful. And, I think everyone is trying to reach out. There's this Chief Minister's Relief Fund. There's the State Disaster Relief Fund, which is doing fabulous work. So you can either contribute to a relief fund, or if you want, you can contact the district administration and give not cash, but actually give in kind, and work through NGOs or work through local groups, which the administration can guide you to, where you will know exactly where your materials are going. So dry food, clothes, rubber chappals, all of this is very required. Potable water, whatever you can spare would be needed. Anything which normal people need after something like this.
No, as you said, water, power gone for hours. Rebuilding lives is going to take time. The fear, of course, is that the monsoon will hit in a little while from now, and therefore it isn't as if this is the end of the problems that people are facing.
No.
In the past, there has been a sense that Bengal has been caught in the center versus state tussle. The Prime Minister was there. He committed 1,000 crores immediate advance relief. Is there a sense that the center and state can work together on this one?
Look, when something like this hits, given the COVID crisis, Rajdeep, the states have been hit very, very hard with the crisis, because there has been no help from the center on the COVID crisis, either in terms of cash given directly to poor people. That's something that hasn't come. And also the states are completely cash trapped, because we are having to deal with the returning migrants. We are having to deal with all of the problems that come with it. And we haven't really got cash in hand. Our FRBM limits haven't been increased. It's been increased from 3 to 3.5%. The other 150 basis points is tied to so much conditionality. None of the states can tap into it. So I think that's something the center could have done better. But I'm not going to go into that. On the back of COVID, when something like this has happened, the Prime Minister came in, he saw for himself the extent of damage. He's given us 1,000 crores, but there is much room for more. If you remember, Orissa got 3,500 crores after Fani, and we're a larger state, and this storm has been as bad, if not worse. So obviously there's more room for help. But having said that, we're grateful for anything that comes, and we're appealing to everybody. This is a time to work together and get on with it. But the biggest problem now is with COVID there, with social distancing. You have 2 lakh people in shelters. We have 40,000 people coming back every day now. For them to go back to their villages, which they can't reach in these 2 districts, is terrible. Even in Nadia now, we're having to deal with migrants coming back, 17 trains coming back today. So the administration is stretched to the absolute hilt. Absolute hilt.
There are two tragedies. One is the unfolding tragedy, of course, in South and 24 North Parganas that you mentioned. The other tragedy seems to be in Kolkata itself, a city where you've grown up in, that you know very well. Someone has just sent me this morning how book lovers from across Kolkata and indeed across the country are trying to come together to help the booksellers of Kolkata's College Street, who've lost it all. And I'm told that Mitra Ghosh publishers are coming together along with the Tata Steel Kolkata Literary Meet organizers to support booksellers. They've even sent me how you can support a particular fundraiser there. Do you see a lot of people now getting involved collectively, citizenship of Kolkatans in particular, to try and get, for example, College Street back on its feet?
Yes, I think this is what I was talking about. I think we can't just rely on government and administration. It's high time right-thinking citizens took upon themselves to think up. Calcutta is the home of, I would say, the book lover. It's a home of very many special types of people who are scattered all over the world and who have a very special love for Calcutta. It's a very special city. This is when your city needs you. So, for example, College Street. Now, someone sitting in Nadia will not understand what the loss of. He's too bothered with his mango crop going, obviously. So we obviously need to have groups that are focusing on certain groups to do this. So it's wonderful that at College Street, which has already been hit so hard with the lockdown, they haven't had zero revenue environment for the past 60 days. So zero revenue environment in a very low margin business anyway in College Street. So combined with that, if your stock inventory has got destroyed, then we're looking at this wonderful haven. Apart from Heon Y, I can't think of any other place in the world which is sort of a book lover's paradise like College Street. So if the Tata Steel Literary Fest is doing something, kudos to them. And I would urge all Calcuttans to come across, if it's saving a heritage building, if it's saving a tree, whatever it is, if it's tree lovers, if it's animal lovers who want to feed stray dogs, this is the time for everyone to come and find your own special way of doing it and get on with it, I would say. Get on social media, get people together. Whatever we can do is not enough right now.
In fact, I'm going to try for a moment to put up some of those details that we've got about various groups that are supporting Kolkata's attempt to rebuild itself. Do you feel, as many do, that Bengal and Kolkata don't get enough media attention, that there's been far too much, God forbid if this happened in a Delhi or a Mumbai, it would get far more focus. I know a number of Kolkatans who sort of send me angry missives after Cyclone Amphan saying, you aren't focusing enough on it. This is the third program that we've done on it, but I just wanted to get a sense. Is there a sense that the Bengali feels that that he or her story isn't being told strongly enough?
Yes, Rajdeep, I would. I've said that very early on in the program, that is something that all of us talk about. And but from you, I wouldn't expect anything less, given that you're a son-in-law of our illustrious state. So if this is the third program you're doing, you should have done even some more. But yes, I do think that had this happened in any other metro, the media attention would have been a lot more. So we're always, like we say in Bengali, we're not a petet chile, we are a pitet chile. Or not a petet shantan, but a pitet shantan. So yes, that is stepmotherly treatment that we have to deal with. But you know what? We're dealing with it. I think there are enough Calcuttans, Bengalis, and Calcutta lovers who may not be Bengali but still love the city, have grown up, have strong ties to it. So this is time which they, and in the age of social media, I think there's a lot we can do, even if regular media deems it fit to focus on other things. I think social media and concerned citizens can actually do a lot at this time. So yes, while I lament the lack of focus from mainstream media, this is the time for other people to come in.
Okay, we hope that the media will treat this as a collective challenge, both in Bengal and beyond, at the so-called national media, and indeed that the center-state divide is also bridged by Cyclone Amphan. You have elections next year, Mahua Moitra, I know, in Bengal, and let's hope this is the calm before that storm, and that you all can come together and work as a united entity. Thank you very much for joining us and sharing what has been a traumatic week, I know, for the people of Bengal in Kolkata and beyond. Thanks very much. That's our special that we had after the storm, a reminder that there are parts of this country that are facing enormous natural tragedies, even in Corona lockdown times. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.